The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mohsen Zia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamohsenzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia Mohsen Zia.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mohsen Zia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamohsenzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia Mohsen Zia.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, along with 25 podcast platforms, including Amazon, Audible, Apple, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the members of Ashes to Omens, Chris Blake and James Breton, out of the beautiful Peachtree State of Georgia. They've got a new song out called War Cry, which will be playing on the show in just a few minutes. And, of course, they released their debut single, The Screws, in 2017, made their self-titled debut, hit #1 in the rock charts for about 13 months. quite a long time. These guys are from Athens, Georgia. They're likes of Breaking Benjamin, Audio Slave, Iron Maiden, and more. And a very interesting tale about the lead singer as well, too, diagnosed with throat cancer, undergoing treatment, how they managed to overcome, and also released Conflict Within, and opened for a classic metal group. We'll talk about that. But live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in the beautiful Peachtree Strait, from Athens, Georgia, the founders of Ashes to Omens, Chris Blake and James Branton. Hey, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate you having us on.
Hey, we appreciate you guys, too. So you guys are out of Athens, Georgia. You guys got together just a few years ago in 17. You guys have the likes of Breaking Benjamin, Audio Slave, Iron Maiden, and more. And, of course, James, you underwent treatment for thyroid cancer. You got diagnosed, and you're just getting ready to go. And we'll have you talk about your story. You guys released The Conflict Within, and you got War Cry that's out right now. We'll be playing that in just a few minutes. You also opened up for Cinderella, but in an indirect way, and you guys just have a lot of momentum. And before we get into all that, tell us how you guys first got started.
Well, back in 2017, a lot of us had already been in bands previously, and 2017, I had wanted to get back into music again. I started writing again, and I got introduced to David Gaines. We hit it off, immediately, and started writing music together. And just about 2 or 3 weeks later, we found a drummer and found Chris, who has been the bassist ever since. And honestly, we just hit the ground running. Then we had a clear vision of what we were trying to achieve and what we were trying to do musically, and we really just hit the ground running as fast and as hard as we could. And fortunately for us, everybody has received it very well, and we tend to reach all different walks of life with our music because of the style that we play. And that was it was like the magic happened, with 4 of us all together all at once. So it just kind of worked out. It was really fast and pretty amazing, honestly.
It sounds amazing. And Chris, feel free to jump in as well, too, on how you got started. So you guys can go back and forth. Feel free to jump in and everything else. So let's have a little fun with it. So go ahead, Chris, and you can also jump in as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the drummer that he was talking about is my cousin. He called me. He tried out the first week, and he called me and said that he had tried out for this band, and they had a bass player, but he was also a guitar player. So I asked if I could come and try out, and I came the next week and tried out and learned the screws because we had already had that most of the way written. I learned what they had written in the screws. It evolved from there, and I decided to stay with the band. And the fellow that was going to do a bass originally went to rhythm guitar, but he dropped not long after that. So that's pretty much how I went as a 4-piece for a little while until we added a 5th member a little bit later on down the path.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you also had a story, James, about having thyroid cancer and undergoing treatment. And tell us about that story. How you first find out how you got the thyroid cancer, and also undergoing treatment, and also the process too, and what it is, and how can we all learn from it? I mean, you just have an interesting story.
Yeah, so honestly, it really kind of caught everybody in my family off guard. I guess it just had one of those gut instincts because of a few things that was kind of happening in my life, and I went in to get a checkup, and I told the doctor, I was like, "Hey, man, this is what I'm feeling right now, and there may or may not be something going on, but I want to be checked just to be sure." And they brought me in and did an ultrasound, and they said, "Oh wow, you've actually got a nodule on this left side here, and we need to check that." And they asked me, like, "How did you even detect this? Because the size of it was so small, I shouldn't feel it." And I said, "Man, I don't know. I just had this gut feeling, and I followed my gut, and they tested it, and it come back that it was cancerous." And of course, that was a huge scare for me and everybody in my family. And I literally had just started the band. We'd already started practicing together, so that was kind of a shock to everybody in the band too. And underwent treatment for it. We had surgery, followed up with it, and doctor told me that they were able to get everything because it was so isolated. that they were able to take care of all of it, via surgery. There wasn't any, residual chemo treatment that I would need to, to take or anything like that. So I was very fortunate in that sense.
Now, was that, No, go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to say I'm very fortunate in that sense because, that's not, I know a lot of people that's had cancer. I know people that's died from cancer. For me to be able to go in and have surgery and mine be taken care of, I'm very, very fortunate and very blessed. It's, something that was tough for me and my family, but it's nowhere near on the same level as, a lot of people that we know that's had to deal with cancer before.
Mm-hmm. Now, was this considered benign or malignant?
I actually got an answer on that. Now that you mentioned that. I know that doctor at the time told me that it was cancerous and it would need to be removed so that it wouldn't spread. So I don't think to this day, it's been 3 years. I don't think to this day I ever got a clear answer on that.
Mm-hmm. And then too, you talked about an isolated area. Is that considered like a rare type where it's isolated, or is it more common, or was it like considered an unusual case, or was this rather common? You mentioned about being isolated with the cancer.
Yeah, so they actually told me that initially nodules on my thyroid, and they said, people can go their whole life having nodules on the thyroid. They never notice it never affects their body in any way, but they always check them when they see them because nodules can turn cancerous. Mm-hmm. And this was one of those instances where the nodule had turned cancerous, and they were able to catch it early enough to get it out and take care of it. So they just went ahead and took out that entire side while they were in there, because it had not spread to the right side or hadn't spread anywhere else yet. But they did say that, that type of cancer, if there would be a cancer to have, that would be the one that you would want to get because it's able to be treated quickly, effectively, as long as it hasn't spread. So that's why I say I was very fortunate in that sense because they caught it so early and they were able to get in there and get all that out. So it apparently, I don't want to say it's a common cancer because that's not a thing, but it is one of the more frequently noticed types of cancers that people would get in their thyroid.
Mm-hmm. And what was that one moment that convinced you, or you had that gut feeling say that you had cancer? What was that one moment and what symptoms we're experiencing at that time that says the gut feeling was saying I may have cancer or something's wrong?
I don't think that there was a moment. I've always been real health conscious, about taking care of my body, and I don't know, man. I can't really pinpoint it to a specific thing or a specific moment because I pick up, like a good adult should, and that was just one of those things where I don't know, man. Like I'd had people in my family that had been diagnosed with cancer, and I told him, hey, I'm a former smoker. I smoked for 10 years, and that's always been one of my scares is I'm going to get some sort of respiratory related cancer or something like that. And then I've dealt with thyroid issues my entire life, and so the conversation kind of went from there.
Mm-hmm. And how long what was a process, being diagnosed with thyroid cancer, undergoing treatment, follow-up, and how long was this process?
It took place over about the diagnosis and treatment. That took place in about 3 months. It was very fast.
Wow.
Once they realized what it was and what needed to be done, they immediately said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to schedule the surgery for this day. You're going to come in here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, and you're going to be done. It wasn't a long, drawn-out process. But now every year I have to go and get checked to make sure that the other side doesn't have the same thing going on too. This just as, preventative maintenance, I guess you could say, but it was very fast.
Wow. I mean, 3 months. That was very quick. I am so happy for you. You're doing very well, and I'm glad to have you on, and thanks for sharing that story. I mean, you're just an inspiration when it comes to, beating cancer and everything else, and then you proceeded to move on with, continuing actions to Omens. We'll talk more about that in just a minute, but first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at professional website without breaking a budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over 25 podcast platforms, including Amazon, Audible, Apple, and coming to Podbean, as well as Buzzsprout, TuneIn, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with James Brenton and Chris Blake of Ashes of Omens here on the Mike Wagner Show, based off Athens, Georgia. They've been around for about 3 years now, being formed in 2017 after undergoing thyroid treatment and overcoming thyroid cancer for James Brenton. Let's talk about how you managed to get started, and you open up for Tom Kiefer, Cinderella, and let's talk about your first single, The Screws, in 17, and yourself hit #1 in rock charts, 13 months, and tell us about your singles and the album and your start.
Chris, you want to take that one?
Well, yeah, we got together and we wrote The Screws. It was the first song that the band ever written. And James, when he formed the band, he presented the song to us, what he was hearing vocally first, and we kind of built it around that. Most of the rest of the album was built around starting with instrumentals, but that was the only one that started with the vocals. And once we written it, and he flushed the meaning of the song out to us about it being his battle with thyroid cancer and other things, depression, anxiety, and everything that he's battled and some of the other band members have battled. We got it recorded, filmed a music video, and we were #1 on. Once we hit the charts, we were #1 in Reverb Nation for Athens for 13, 14 months, James, somewhere around there, 13 or 14 months. We were constantly playing shows, promoting the album, had T-shirts, merch, everything, and we got the offer to open for Tom Kiefer at the Innovation Amphitheater in Winder. Man, it's been a minute. I forgot how that offer even got presented to us, James. If you could help me with that one. You remember how it got presented to us, but
yeah, we had found out that they were going to be playing, at that amphitheater, and we had, I guess you could say, all of us had catching other bands to just kind of play with them, and we just called up the venue, and asked them who the owner of the venue was, who the booking agent for that show was, and they told us the booking agent, and I gave the booking agent guy a call, and I said, "Hey man, you guys got any? Is this just just him playing, or is there anybody else playing the show with him?" And they were like, "No, it's just him." And
wow.
I said, "Well, can we open for him?" And they were like, "Yeah, let me give him a call." And so the booking agent give Tom a call, Tom Kiefer the call, and shared with him some of our music, and he come back and said, "Sure, they can open." And so that was, at the end of the day, that ultimately that was how that happened. It happened really fast, and kind of we'd opened for a couple of other major bands too. We'd opened for Rehab last year as well, and it kind of happened the same way. We'd gotten to be friends with one of the venue owners that Rehab had played with, and we played a few shows at that venue too, and in that case, that venue owner had reached out to us and says, "Hey, you've opened up for Tom Kiefer, you've opened up for Demon and Me, and a few of these other, pretty large bands. You want to open up for Rehab?" And was absolutely. So we got to open up for them and met those guys, and those guys are absolutely, amazing humans, amazing musicians, and just great people altogether. So and it boils down to just, if you want something, just, it never hurts to ask. What's the worst that can happen? They say no, right? So, and we've been told no's just as many times as we've been told yes, but you don't know if you don't ask. So that's what we started doing. We just started asking.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really good approach as well, too, because I was told by one of the guests as well, too, I had on my show, that you always say yes to everything, because that one yes may turn into something big. You never, ever say no if you say no. And if that's something that becomes big, then you really just pretty much kick yourself in the ass for the rest of your life. But I could pretty much see where you're coming from. And I guess, you know, playing with Tom Kiefer, Cinderella, I guess that's nobody's fool, you could say. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, we're glad it didn't turn into a don't know what you got till it's gone type thing.
Yeah, pretty much too. And you know, there's one question I forgot to ask you as well too. How'd you guys meet?
Me as far as the band was concerned.
Well, with you two guys.
Well, we actually met after we had found the drummer. Casey was the guy that was drumming for us at the time. We were looking for that replacement bass player because the bass player wanted to move over to rhythm, and Casey just sat down and had a conversation with him basically, and ended up saying, "Hey man, you know the guys would love to meet you, see how you play, see if we mesh together." And we were just practicing one night, and he wanted to come just hang out and try out with us, and he did amazing. That's why he's still here. And so, yeah, he's a great guy, great bass player, and you know we all hit it off. You know, and that was what was probably more important than being able, you know, to play your instrument is, you know, if you're just a good person. And I think that's what's important to all of us in this band is we like each other on a personal level. It's not just about the music, but we actually like each other as people. And so
then we found out we were stuck with each other, James. I'm distantly related. We found out at our album release party, I'm distantly related to his wife. We're like third cousins.
Yeah.
Third cousins? Oh, my gosh. That hasn't been heard in a while. Thank you, Quarantine, for letting us know who your third cousins, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and in 1 million. Thank you very much, Quarantine. So, and of course, just another thing, too, before we play your song, War Cry, who are some of your favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up? So either one of you can go ahead and start.
Oh, I love my favorite artists. Probably top ones would be Disturbed, Godsmack, Metallica, Breaking Benjamin, Motley Crue, Skillet. That's just to name a few. I mean, I could sit here and name 1,000 bands, but I don't want to keep you all night, so I'll leave it at that and let James go.
It's okay. I got some time, guys. I got some time. Just don't give me like a king's scroll or anything like I do with most people. I'm kidding. So.
Yeah. I think for me, I've always been a huge fan of Chris Cornell. He was a huge influence of mine. You know, when I first started listening to hard rock music, and so I'm a big grunge guy. Yeah, I grew up listening to rock and grunge. So Chris Cornell, you know, him, Brent Smith from Shinedown, you know, obviously a huge influence, and then Benjamin Burley from Breaking Benjamin. Just as vocalists, you know, are concerned. But I mean, I'm just like a lot of, you know, kids from the 80s and 90s. I grew up listening to, you know, AC/DC and Led Zeppelin, and even, you know, poppier rock, hair rock like Bon Jovi or Motley Crue. You know, listen to those guys too. So I think pretty much anything rock related, I kind of gravitated to, you know, because I grew up in such a far right. You know, rock music isn't allowed kind of household. Like anytime I get my hands on rock music, I would listen to it. So that's kind of where I went. That's really kind of where I stayed.
And that is amazing as well, too. And we'll go ahead and play War Cry in just a minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, James Brenton and Chris Blake of Ashes of Omens here on The Mike Wagner Show. Right now, here's a new release which just came out. It's called War Cry from Ashes of Omens, right here on The Mike Wagner Show.
I have fought that I speak like I've never spoken before. It's time for me to weep because I've been starving for too long. Is this all a dream? Have I been awake all this time? I'm taking back control. You're no longer changing my mind, and I owe you no explanation. Please take this into consideration. I have stayed alive. I don't run. I do not deny. I have never knew. Won't you save me? This is my war cry. It's time that I bleed, just like a lion that's been scarred. It's your time to bleed, because I've been bleeding for too long. Crush all their dreams, the way they've been crushing all of yours. And under feet, as you're kicking down their doors, and I owe you no explanation. Please take this into consideration. I have stayed alive. I don't run. I do not deny. I have never knew. Won't you save me? This is my war cry. Now that we're breaking bread with you, and you're the fire, and always you. I have fought, stayed alive. I don't run. I do not deny. I am brave, never kneel. Won't you save me? This is my war cry, my war cry. Oh, this is my war cry, my war cry. I have stayed alive. I don't run. I do not deny. I have never knew. Won't you save me? This is my war cry. My war cry. This is my war cry. This is my war cry.
Great song by Ashes of Omens with War Cry here on the Mike Wagner Show, just released. And tell us more about that song and what inspired you to write it.
Well, that one actually was initially that song was brought to me by David Gaines, our guitarist. He had been working on a series of riffs that were more a perfect circle, more Tool feeling, I guess you could say, which is something a little bit different that we had never really tried before. And he had some ideas for some of the lyrics, and he had wrote down a few lines that he brought to me. And I honestly think it was prior to a practice one day, and he'd come over to my house, and we were just kind of hanging out in the garage. And he says, "Hey, check this out, man!" And he started playing this riff, and immediately I was compelled by. I was like, "Oh my God, have you wrote any lyrics to that?" And he's like, "I've got a couple lines here. What do you think?" And I started reading through it. I was like, "Man, let's work on this right now." And so we started. I guess you could say we got into a mental state where we felt like this song was going to be headed, and we really dialed that in, and we worked over that, on that for the next few weeks, and got something that we were both really happy with, and came to practice, and we'd already had everything together for it. I think at that point in time, Casey and Chris was there too, and they had heard what David, was writing and what we were doing. They really loved it, and they started throwing in their spins on it, and it just kind of evolved into something bigger than we ever expected it to be. And so over the course of the year, we kind of worked on it and tweaked it and worked on it and added backing vocals and did this and did that, kind of centered around this idea that, for mental health awareness and PTSD and, that sort of thing. And we had Billy Gray from Fozzy come down from Atlanta one night and listen to the song. And he says, "Man, I'm digging this song. Let's try to twist it a little bit." And he started working with us. I think he worked with us for about an hour that night on this song. One thing led to another, and the end result, what we've got now is an amalgamation of a year's worth of hard work that we put into a song.
And you guys put a lot of time into it, and that's just a fantastic song. And Chris, you can go ahead and give us some of your thoughts on it as well, too. Okay, Chris, are you still there? Or do we lose Chris?
Did we lose him?
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm here.
Oh, no problem.
I forgot. I mute when I'm not talking. I mute the phone so it does, so you don't hear a lot of background noise going on, like dogs playing and stuff. So, sorry, I forgot to unmute. Dogs
playing? It's okay. You can have dogs playing, dogs barking. It's to know you're still alive, which is good. So,
when we wrote the song originally, David brought the main riff to us, and we that song, as James said, evolved over a year. I mean, when we first wrote it, it was good, but it was very empty compared to what it is now. And to me, that song, the evolution of that song was so much more. We put so much more into that than we did any of our other songs. Not to say that we didn't put any effort into our other songs, because we did. Any song we write, it comes from a specific place, and every song has a story. But that song, we put a lot of time, effort, and energy into. And I remember the song originally started off with that main riff that you hear in the verse. And David came over to my house, and I was like, "Man, we gotta put some kind of intro to this. We have to put something that'll starts off kind of slow and drony, and then it picks up really heavy into the verse and everything, and the chorus and everything." So Dave sat down for about an hour at my house and kind of toyed around with it a little bit. Didn't really flesh out much, but we kind of had a basis for it, and we brought it to the next practice and kind of worked on it from there. And the other guitarist we had at the time, Nathan, he added his intro to it. David had his clean intro and everything, and Nathan actually provided the screams in the songs, which I think just added that one missing ingredient, because the song originally did not have the screams in it. We added that much later in the song, but them screams that he offers, man, that really set that song apart from the rest of us, because that's one thing me and James have talked about, is one thing that was always lacking in our music was backing vocals, and boy, we added it in that one, and let me tell you, it made a world of difference.
It does sound like it. And where can we find Warcry at?
You can pick up Warcry anywhere you stream music. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, Apple Music, it's on Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Play. Anywhere you stream music, it's being played on FM radio right now. It's being played on numerous internet radio stations and college radio stations across the U.S. and all across the world as well. So if you're into rock music, if you have those rock stations in your area, all you have to do is pick up the phone, call your radio station, and request it. They can get a copy of it.
That is fantastic. And where else can we find your other music at?
You can always go to ashestooomens.com. You can go to facebook.com/ashestooomens, as well as Twitter and Instagram, SoundCloud. You can get all of our music there. We have a YouTube channel that you can get it. We also have a YouTube topic channel. So if you can't find us in one place, you can always find us another. We're pretty much anywhere you want to get music or media or consume that sort of content, we're there.
That is
your old school college radio stations and request us on the radio.
Absolutely.
Definitely will do. We're here with James Brenton and Chris Blake of Ashes of Omens here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time, guys. You've been absolutely fantastic. Just a few more things here. And what can we expect from you guys in 2021 and beyond?
Chris?
Well, as soon as, we figure this COVID thing out, that we can get back to playing shows, first and foremost. But in the meantime, while we're still, kind of semi in lockdown and a lot of venues are closed and there aren't a lot of shows going on, we're going to try to focus on finishing writing music and fleshing out some of the songs that we want to include on this next album that really need to get back in the studio and be recorded and be tweaked and be worked on and everything. And we have a lot of good songs that we want people to hear, a lot of great songs, actually. And, War Cry isn't the end-all be-all for Ashes to Omens. It's not the one-hit wonder for us. We want people to hear all of our music because, like I said, every song tells a story. And if you want to hear the whole story, you got to listen to the whole album. So we're looking forward to getting that out in 2021, hopefully. Definitely
will do that. And who do you consider biggest influences in your careers, guys?
Bass players for me, Nikki Sixx for sure. Love Motley Crue. Love Robbie Merrill from Godsmack, one of the most underrated bass players in the world. Tremendous bass player. Les Claypool's a great bass player. Even bands that people don't even think about to mention, like Mike Rodden from Hinder, he's great. I mean, if you ever listen to him play, he's got some pretty good bass licks too. So that's just to name a few. I could name the ones that every bass player names, like Flea and all them, who are great and everything, but that's not really who I drive influence from. No offense to Flea, he's a wonderful bass player. It's just I tend to lean more towards the hard rock style, not that crazy slapstick bass that he does. Not to say it's bad, it's wonderful. I love Flea to death. He's a great bass player, but that wouldn't be who I would say I try to idolize myself after. Probably the one I idolize myself after the most, probably Nikki Sixx. Mm-hmm. Minus the drug use.
And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Don't stop.
Don't let COVID get you down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you're at right now, you were wanting to be at that place at some point in time, and if you stop now, you got to start over. So just don't stop. Whatever you're doing, just keep pushing.
That's very true. Once again, Chris Blake, James Brenton of Ashes of Omens here on the Mike Wagner Show. Guys, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Yeah, ashesomens.com, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, anywhere you can consume media, you can get us there.
That is fantastic. Guys, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. You guys are great.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks a lot for having us.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mohsen Zia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamohsenzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia Mohsen Zia.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.